Okay, hi Countryside members. Today's Friday, September the 2nd, and I'm standing on the Phase 1 site. I'm hoping that you can hear me through all of this noise right now, but behind me what we have going on today is a rough grading. Now that all the stormwater system has been placed and put in, this track behind us, this Caterpillar behind us is doing the rough grading before work begins next week. And actually there'll be rough grading throughout the week next week as well. Getting the site prepared for the final grade for tennis courts and things like that. So let's go over here and check these buildings out and see what's going on over here. Okay, we're still in Phase 1, of course. This is again the tennis complex and the 3 tennis buildings behind me. What's going on today is that the crews are working on the tie beams, getting them prepared for trusses, to have trusses installed the latter part of probably late next week or early the following week. Before trusses are put on, we'll have concrete brought out next Thursday is the scheduled date for a concrete truck to be here and to go ahead and do the concrete pouring for again the tie beams and for the corner pillars. Okay, now I'm standing at Phase 2, which is of course the Wellness Center. What we were going to see inside today is really the majority of the drywall's now up, and you'll see the mudders and tapers here doing the mudding and taping. That's going to take probably 5 to 7 days total of mudding and taping to do the entire interior, but we'll do a quick tour and show you around again. Now that the drywall's up, you get a really great idea of how the rooms are shaping out. So let's go ahead and go inside. Okay, again, this is the front main entryway. To the right, again, is the reception area. There'll be some built-in cabinetry and a built-in front reception counter that will be going here. We'll circle back to this room a little bit later, but to your left is entryway into our larger meeting room. Come on in. Again, this is the Wellness Center. Now that you've seen it's all drywalled out, again, it gives you a much better idea of how the room is going to look. So what's going to happen is this: once the interior is mudded and taped off, it's going to take 5 to 7 days. Once that is complete, we'll plan on doing the first coat of paint will go on the walls before the ceiling tiles go in, and we begin working on cabinetry and finishing out utilities and things like that. So we're going to at least one coat of paint will be on the walls in about 2 weeks. So we'll really begin to see things come together. So let's continue on with the tour. Okay, we're going to go into the yoga Pilates room. Now that you can see the ceiling is nearly complete, of course, the drop ceiling's yet to be put in, the tile and the drop ceiling's yet to be put in, but otherwise you get a good idea of the soffit and the way the room's going to look. One other thing I want to show you is some of the detail work above us here on the soffits above the front and rear entryways. They're just wrapping this up, and of course it'll be stained, but it's going to look really, really nice. Okay, let's move on. Again, this is the hallway that leads to the left and the right will be the meeting and conference rooms to your left, and far right will be the restrooms. Now that the drywall's up in the restrooms, I'll take a really quick tour through there as well. It's a little dark because the lighting's not turned on yet. Again, we're in the men's restroom. ADA to your left, ADA restroom to your left. The next restroom will be a regular restroom stall to your right. This area here will have hand sinks and the men's latrines and hand sinks. 2 showers, shower A, shower B, and actually the carpenter right now is actually working on the beginning of the men's sauna, getting the plywood up, and then they'll come in with the sauna material afterwards. This door dumps out onto the pool deck. The pool deck will be tied into this building. We'll do some fence work and some concrete work back here with the site once we're ready for that. This actually will be a doorway. This is actually a pass-through with basically a maintenance housekeeping service closet here. We can pass through here. Both of these doors will be locked though, so men and women won't have access to either restroom. Women's side, same thing. We'll have a ladies sauna here. They'll be working on the carpentry there next. Ladies shower has a full changing area here, and then the actual shower stall is further back. This was one of the requests that our ladies had, was to have a separate changing area, which we were able to do. Ladies restroom to the left, 88 to the next to the left, to the right, another ladies restroom. Back here will be a small changing area, some day lockers, and hand sinks. Lastly, let's go ahead and go over to the card rooms. Okay, there's actually two rooms over here. The artificial drop-down wall that will be mounted in the ceiling, that'll be installed in the next week or so. Again, you can see the drywall, mud, and tape going up. But this is, again, the larger meeting room. And then to the far right, you'll see the smaller conference room. With that said, one last thing, the building will be painted beginning next week. Painters will be here, weather permitting, of course. The builders will be here next week, or painters will be here next week to begin painting the outside of the building. We're going to real quickly head over to phase 3 and see what's happening over there. Now I'm at phase 3. I wish I had more to show you with phase 3, but for those of you who've not lived or not been in Florida lately, we had a little tropical storm go through this past week that turned into a hurricane. And it's rained every single day. As I mentioned last week, we already had our footers washed out. The footers have been dug once. They were washed out by a series of storms that we had received. And of course, it's rained every single day, so we've not been able to pump the footers yet. They're full of water. Before we have a look, the footers are full of water, both footers here, and as well as all of the footers behind the clubhouse for the indoor-outdoor dining space. So the plan of attack is this: early next week, pump these footers out, get the water out, re-dig the footers, rebar them, and on Thursday when the concrete truck's here to pour concrete across the street on phase 1, we'll bring them over here for phase 3 and have them begin pouring concrete for both footers for the outdoor dining space and the footers for the portico. So we're going to hope and pray for some good weather next week, at least some drier conditions, so we can move on with this phase of the project and get this wrapped up. So we'll have another video out next Friday. Until then, have a great Labor Day weekend. Be safe, and we'll talk next week. Bye.